26, let's have it. My first live stream of the new year. There's no performing here. There's no script. There is no agenda. I've just come with an intention to start my year as I intend to go on, which is to cut above the noise and the shit that is AI. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm going through any social media and I watch a video and I think, oh, this looks interesting. And literally 2 seconds later, I was talking to a client about this other day, and it's like 2 seconds and you realize this is AI, and it's like, oh, fuck, another AI. I think that we're going to lose deep connection this year. Human beings are going to lose deep connection. Hey, Claire. And I thought, how can I help people that are already disconnected, already suffering, already feel alone, already don't trust the world? How can I build a deep connection, relationships? And also, I made a decision. Who knows? Maybe it'll come out in this live stream, and I'm intending to go live every day. If I keep looking away from the cameras, because I bought my daughter a rabbit, and I decided to put it in my office, and it's going absolutely mental. It's just jumping everywhere. I got a stand-up desk. It's jumping in the bookshelf. So forgive me for being distracted. I just don't want it to get harmed or do something that it shouldn't be doing. At 1st of July, I made a decision to go not in a new direction, to trust my intuition. And rather than doing the same content that I've always done, I thought, let me play with the algorithms and let me just do random content. But with that random content came millions of views. At one point, I was getting, on my IG, I was getting about 4 million views per 30 days. But with that came a lot of judgment, which is purely a lack of understanding. All human beings judge when they can't understand something. To understand, if I say I understand you, it means I'm okay, you're okay. You're okay, I'm okay. But when you can't get to that level, you have to place some kind of judgment on it. Because people just saw a viral video of me talking rubbish or doing something funny with my partner, or being super confident and cocky and saying things that just upset a lot of men. I thought, how can I get people to know the truth of who I am? And that's to do long form content. And it's not something that I just decided on New Year's Eve. This has been coming for a long time. And this is the year. This is the year that I really want to commit to. Maybe I said this about a year ago, but this idea came to my mind. You got to be known for something, right? Why not be known for being live more than anyone else? Because why did I start coaching? In short, and like I said, I'm going to talk about this for days and days and days. In short, my father committed suicide. Hey, Nikki. And guys, I'm streaming here. It was meant to be yesterday. I couldn't get it figured out. I couldn't get it done yesterday. But this is my first live stream for the year. And I'm multi-streaming, just so you know. I'm across multiple channels. I've not done this in a long time. A very long time. It's also beginning of the year. I'm not bothered whether one person watches or there's 100 people watching. I just know that this can be saved, except for one platform, let's just say TT. It doesn't automatically upload the live stream, which sucks because I like to go deep and really share my heart with people. But it's easy for people to judge when they don't understand something, and it's easy. Yo, James, what's up? It's easy to judge someone when they don't understand that individual. So my goal this year is to really get people to understand what I care about, what I believe is wrong in the world, what can be better, why we play a massive role in this, how we can be better individuals, and also things about my personal life, why I got divorced in the UK, what I did after I got hit by a car in a hit and run collision 6 years ago, what I did as a result of that, and how I changed my life in pretty much every way. Why I went away into the mountains and ordained as a Buddhist monk. FYI, I did it because I love smashing stretch goals. And for me, that was a stretch goal. Go into the jungle, study and train, and ordain to be a Buddhist monk. That would be awesome. Hey, Baz, Australia. Nice to see Australia here. We got UK here as well. Oh, you're an inspiration, brother. Thank you so much, James. I appreciate you very much. I hope I can serve you as best as possible this year. Inspire you to live your life fully, and to, more importantly, the bigger work, the deeper work, is to face everything that's holding you back from living in alignment, from living your truth, from living with peace, joy, happiness, fulfillment. Bunny, 在yen yen. Now he's flipping over my books, the rabbit. Anyway, I might have to stop. I might have to just move away and put him in a live stream because he is just having too much fun. Or when Nat comes in, I'll ask her to put him away. Her away. Forgive me. And I would like to want people to understand why I moved to Thailand. The comments I get online are just in general, the comments I get online are sometimes disgusting. Like, it's terrible. It's shocking that we live in a world that people comment on other people's lives that they don't even know in such a way that you rarely have to be venomous. You rarely have to be hurt, slightly disturbed even, to just go to someone. Like, social media is like approaching someone, right? But you can do it online. But imagine like going and approaching someone in the street and just saying, your wife's a prostitute. or whatever comment. I want people to understand why I moved to Thailand, why it is the best country in the world. I want people to understand why I left South Africa. I want people to understand my upbringing. I want people to understand, if they don't know, because some people unfortunately do know this experience, what it was like when I came home at 13 years old and the police were at my door. And my mother said, go to my room. And then I found out that my father had gone to the beach, put a pipe in his exhaust in his car, and drank himself to sleep and took his own life. I want people to understand what it's like being in a partnership, in a relationship, marriage, unofficial because we say we're married, but we're not married on paper yet, to a Thai person and what comes with that. I want people to understand why after I ordained as a Buddhist monk, I had just had so much gratitude for the monks and the work that they do, and for the Dharma, the teaching of the Buddha, and for Buddhism, that I donated a lot of money. And I also helped to set up, there was no meditation retreats near Phuket. This was North Thailand, and Phuket is towards South Thailand. Baz, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Happiness is the greatest success. And then I went and I was so passionate about setting up this meditation retreat. And people that knew me in the past, they must have been like, what the fuck? This guy was wearing tailored suits. Hang on. Money, come here. No. Tailored suits, representing Tony Robbins, speaking on stages around the world, writing books, bestsellers, Amazon releases. Now he's like divorced, living in Thailand, getting more tattoos, ordaining as a Buddhist monk, going to live in the mountain, dressed like a monk. It's easy to judge. I get it. If you look at my life and how I've chosen to live my life over the last 20 years, it's very easy to judge because I'm just not a normal person. But I've never wanted to be normal. I've always been really committed to understanding God's plan, or the universe's plan, or my higher self's plan for me, for JP de Villiers. What am I meant to be doing here? How can I get the most out of this life? And it's just been an ongoing journey. And I've never settled. I've never been a person that has wanted, oh, I found a job. Yeah, I kind of like it. Oh, I could see myself earning six figures here in 10 years, get a mortgage, get two cars, whatever. It's never interested me in my entire life, ever. It's always been about life being an adventure, living an inspiration, and then giving that inspiration to other people, having adventures, doing what I love, doing what inspires me, and then in that inspire other people. And it started with sports when I was very, very young. I used to watch the professional cyclists when I grew up, and I thought, wow, that's so inspiring. I want to do that. And I remember feeling so inspired by observing these professionals, these high performance athletes, these high performing business people, because at sport at professional level, it's a business. And I thought, I want to do that. I want to do sports. I want to be a high performer, high achiever, and I want to inspire other people. And I knew that from a very, very young age. But I want people to understand things like why I set up the meditation center and helped build it in the mountains just outside of Phuket, and then why I left. People need to understand, not because I need acceptance or appraisal or anything like that. I need people to understand why I chose to leave the house where the mother of my child and my child lived after waiting all of my life to be a father. And it's more for the fathers and mothers that are in relationships that are destroying them. I will not say a bad thing about my ex, about them. Obviously, she's the mother of my daughter. That experience was the hardest experience of my life. Without any comparison, knowing that I had to leave the house, a lucky lady. We very well, thank you. Thank you so much. Nat's next door with my stepson, her son, Nakin. She's putting him to bed. And I've decided to, beginning of the year, I've decided to do a long live stream because I just know some people need it. And if some people want to come check in, whatever, that's fine. But hopefully this is going to be recorded. And if this helps people start the year in the right way with a bit of hope and faith, then that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. I don't go out. It's what's today? Friday. I don't go out. I don't drink. I don't get drunk. I don't have boys. You know, what do you call it? Like go out with the boys. So I just thought, how can I use this first Friday of the year? Let me go online and just do a long open share for the new year. Thanks for sharing. You're such an inspiration, man. God bless you. Kurd, Canada, thank you so much. Baz, who's anyone to judge? Your life can change in a heartbeat. Absolutely. Let me tell you about that, Baz. One of my friends literally died on New Year's Eve in his 40s, left his kids, his wife. Your life can change in an instant. Like, don't worry about what people think about your life or about you or your decisions. Live your life, because life is short. And actually, what changed for me in a very big way, look, I was very cookie cutter, or like how you would imagine a high performance, successful high performance coach. That was me in my 30s. Wore tailored suits, $2,000 suits, had my own tailor in London, had a brand new Mercedes GLB, took the plastic off the seats, had a 5-bedroom house in the Midlands, in the middle of England, in a village called Welton, that literally was just like rich or retired people. Had it like just insane house, like heated flooring throughout, jacuzzi, table tennis table. Like in my 30s, I had everything. Okay, I could have had more financial savings, but I grew up poor in mind, poor in body, poor in confidence, poor in safety, certainty, stability. So my 20s and 30s, I just fucking lived life to the max. Now in my 40s, things are different. I have a family, etc., etc. But on paper, on social media, I looked like I had fucking everything. I had a gorgeous wife, funny as fuck, I shouldn't be swearing because the one of the channels, the two of the channels I'm going on right now as I'm multi-streaming. I mean, it was great. It was great. We partied, we traveled business class, we went around the world. It was great. But when I got hit, when I was raising money for a charity, because one of my clients lost his daughter. Hey, Ryan, thank you for following my journey. Appreciate you. Thanks for being here. I grew up alongside you. I remember those early school days. No way. Oh, Ryan L. Cape Town. I can't see your profile picture. It's too small. Where did we grow up? You just around or we grew up together? No way. Is that Ryan Lee? That's crazy. If that's that is crazy. Ryan Lee, my bro. Wow. You were such a big part of my childhood, man. Those cycling days, Durbanville days. Wow. That's awesome to see you. Happy New Year, bro. Happy New Year. I hope you're very well. I hope you're very well. Anyway, so that's a blast from the past. Hey, Emily, good to see you. Uh, man, that's such a blast from the past. I don't know where the hell I was right now. Yeah. Anyway, I don't remember where I was. This is Liz. Oh, Liz. Oh, you changed your handle. We cycled alongside one another. Yeah, absolutely, bro. Bro, we cycled alongside each other. We were friends. I've been to your house many times. We used to start our rides from your house. I remember. You're gonna believe this, but I also used to work at the same Jeffo. How am I getting people in Durbanville, Cape Town from Thailand? And used to work at the same fruit and veg market. No way. How did you even know about that story? Oh, you're joking. Oh my God. How did you know that though? Have you heard me talk about that story? Happy New Year. Um, so look, yeah, I can't remember where I was because I just saw a guy that I haven't literally seen his name in, I know it, maybe 20 years or something like that. No, 45 to 35, 25, more than that. 25 years or something like that. I remember you and your. What is going on? Now another person is saying, I remember you and your brother. I lived with Adam. No way in Durbanville. This, I don't know what is going on with the algorithms, man. Oh, good. Canada, you were talking about your 30s and 40s. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Yeah, so I was 37. I was doing boxing, Muay Thai. I was earning 300,000 pounds, about 350, $400,000 a year as a coach. I was charging 20,000 to 35,000 pounds. So that's about 25,000 to $40,000 a year for coaching. I come from what's up? This is the coolest live stream ever. I hope the whole year goes on like this. Oh man, I got to stay focused now. Goedemorgen. Oh my God, Oryx Crescent, where I used to live. Okay, so focus, JP. Everything looked good. And then one of my clients, his daughter died of cancer, of a brain tumor. And I was like, feeling the suffering of this man. And I couldn't just sit there and do nothing. And then another client of mine, his mother died of cancer. So I said, let's do something amazing. Let's cycle from the north of England, the north of the UK to the south of the UK. It's 1,000 miles. We'll do it in 10 days. I'll get a backup vehicle. I'll get sponsors, everything. We'll make this legit. We'll do content and we'll turn this pain into power and we'll raise money for a good cause. And David, good to see you. And on the 8th day, I never made it to the 10th day. On the 8th day, I was hit head on by a drunk driver going about 40. He was going about 50. I was going down a hill. He was going up. I don't remember anything. All I know is about 10, 11 days later, I could fully understand in intensive care what had happened to me. I got told I got hit head on. I flew over the car, head through the windscreen, thank God for my helmet, and basically landed between the railing and a tree. If it wasn't for that tree, I would have gone down the mountain. When people found me, my legs were wrapped behind my body, broken in multiple places. My arm was folded behind. Basically, I should have been dead. I have no memory. It was so traumatic. The brain said, I'm not going to let you remember this. But anyway, I spent 2 weeks in intensive care fighting for my life. I spent 2 months in hospital. I spent 6 months on crutches and on morphine. And when I came out of that, one of the things I couldn't stop thinking about was I was 37, living my best life. And just like that, because I have no memory, thank God I survived. But because I had no memory, I would have just gone, JP is here, 37 years old, coach, speaker, athlete, and boom, he doesn't exist. And I just couldn't get that out of my head. And I thought, if life can be over like that, not even before you think it is over, without you even knowing it's over. If life can be over like that, I want to go within myself and ask myself, am I really living the life that I want? Mary Lou, thank you. Yeah, I remember the hospital videos and photos as well. But I shared it for everyone else. I shared it. I wanted to show people that what happens to you happens for you, and that you can turn pain into power. You can turn tragedy into triumph. You can turn struggle into an inspirational story of success. Jackie, thank you so much. You followed the story as well. And I just went on a crazy road of recovery. And I kept asking, if that was the end of my life, what would I have regretted? And I don't want to go into it too much because it's going to take hours. But I just realized that I was living someone else's life. I had moved to England to make a success of my life. But the only reason I moved to England was because it's the only visa I could get out of South Africa. I didn't choose out of all countries in the world, or the 100 and something countries in the world, I didn't choose England. It's the only way I could get out. I just wanted out of South Africa. See, I grew up in South Africa in sport, then in music, and I saw the biggest DJs in Cape Town. I wanted to be a DJ at the time. They were the biggest DJs, and they still had jobs during the week. I was like, that's not the top. Like, if you still have a job to support your passion, like that for me is not success. Thank you, Jackie. And I was like, I want to go find opportunity. I want to go find my greatness. I want to become more, create more, give more, be more, have more, do more. And the only way I could get out of South Africa was ancestral visa. So I went to England. 20 years later, I'm still fucking there. And I never thought that I didn't have to be there. And I remember going to Thailand for the first time, and I cried when I left because I was so spiritually connected to this place where I live right now. Dubai's my work home. This is my family home, Thailand, my spiritual home, my grounding, my everything is here. And I remember coming here for Muay Thai, Thai boxing. I typed in Google, do Thai boxing in Thailand. And I came here and I fell in love with it. But I was always a relationship person. I was never someone that was into one night stands, and I never enjoyed that. I enjoyed having a partnership always in life. So all of my 20s and 30s, basically, I was in relationships. So I always went back to the UK thinking, I could never live in Thailand. I could never live in Thailand. My partner will never want to. Also, I grew up very unconfident, picked on, bullied throughout school. 12 years of school, the only consistent thought was, how the fuck do I get out of school? I never inspired to excel. Every test, every exam was to get through. Another tick, another thing crossed off. Hey, Philippines, nice to see you. Manila. I just wanted out. It was like a sentence. I hated school because I got bullied. Sometimes when the school bell rang to end school, I ran to the gates like I made it through another day. Sometimes I was picked on and told at second break, we're going to find you. And I'd leave. I'd escape the school gates and I'd leave the school early. It was horrible. I hated school. And mashallah, good for you. God bless you and your family. Thank you so much. Shukran, shukran. And yeah, it was just really, 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 really tough. And then I went to the UK and I wanted to create a better life for myself. I've gone off tangent a little bit again, but I'll get back there. I went to the UK and I wanted to create a better life for myself. And I did. I did do that. But 20 years later, after that collision, I was like, why am I still here? I don't want to live in the cold. I hate the cold. I grew up by the sea. I grew up in a sporting culture. Cape Town. How is Jules doing, David? No idea. No idea. That's my ex-wife. I haven't spoken to her since the divorce. I'm not going to go into that out of respect. I don't badmouth people, but I have no idea. I think she's doing very well. Anyway, thanks for asking. And man, I really need to do these live streams in chapters. But yeah, went to the UK, wanted to create a better life for myself, and then just ended up there 20 years. And I just fell asleep. I fell asleep to the reality that I didn't have to be there. I was a 6-figure business owner for 10 years, last 10 years of living in the UK. I was the breadwinner of my relationship. And the accident woke me up to the fact and the truth that I was living the lifestyle of my ex-wife. I was living where she grew up. I was living in her kind of house, having her kind of social activities, having lunch with her parents, living in her town, spending time with her friends. And it's not being disrespectful to her. It's my fault. When I love, I love. And I'm easy to go with the flow in life, but I realized that this wasn't my life. I wanted to be abroad. I wanted to be in a different environment, more positive, more success driven. Oi, oi, oi. Sorry. Baby. Sorry, my daughter's rabbit is eating my freaking, what are they called? The dense bone headphones. They're not cheap. And anyway, the accident woke me up to that. And I was just like, I can't live this anymore. So the point is, sorry guys, give me 2 seconds. Bunny. Oi. Yeah, I've really gone all over the place in this live stream, but I told myself going into this year the performer is gone. Thank you so much, Samira. The thinking that I have to sound a certain way, look a certain way. I mean, you'll see over the last 6 months of my content, it's changed. I'm just myself. The greatest freedom in the world is to be yourself. And for many, many years, starting because of how I grew up and not being accepted and being bullied and really not being praised the way I should have been in my family, I spent a lot of my life thinking that I needed to be someone else until I started to just peel away the layers more and more and more and more and more. And then finally, I felt like I've peeled the last layer. Let's see, over the last year or so. And now I just... Nat? Sorry, man. The rabbit keeps going back to the cables, guys. I'm sorry. Well, this is fun, isn't it? Bunny, stop. All right. I've put the rabbit back in the cage. Hey, Canal. A lot of soul searching, Baz. A lot of soul searching. And you can see the way I'm sharing this video, I'm still going deep within myself. Anyway, so Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everyone. Nick, good to see you. So I've just been on a fucking journey. I have been on a journey. I have lived a life of 1,000 men. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but I've lived a life of many, many men. When will we be seeing you? Hopefully later in January. I might be going to Dubai and then South Africa. So I got lost. I got lost for a long time, and it was a lot of fucking fun. I made a lot of money. I lost a lot of money. I flew private. I flew business class, first class, went on luxury yachts, wore tailored suits, had £250,000 contracts, which is like over $300,000 annual coaching contracts. I had a lot of fun, but I got lost in who I thought I needed to be. I got lost in who the world expected me to be. I got lost in who the industry says you should be, as in personal development, speaking, coaching. And then I got to a point where I just didn't know myself anymore. And I was still successful, but it just didn't feel the same anymore. And I'm so glad, honestly, I'm so glad that collision, not accident, of the hit and run driver hitting me head on, leaving me for dead on the side of the road, and having to put my life back together. I'm so happy that happened. I'm so grateful, because I don't know if I'd still be doing the same thing, just looking good on the outside and more. You know, what comes after a 5-bedroom house and a new car? Is it a bigger house? I mean, I remember going to look for a bigger house, thinking, oh, we can, you know, I can hustle and I can make this work and we can dream and manifest. And it was a fucking castle. Like it was just more, you know. And now I live a more simple life than never before. Okay, I still earn good money, but I have a lot of challenges because I've walked away from the life that gave me everything. And I've walked away from all the people that paid for that life because I was in their corner, had their back, supported them, coached them, spoke at their events, etc. And everyone was like, what happened to JP? You know, I left the life that I built for 20 years because my soul said, this is not it. This is not it. Not only did I leave that life behind and that old identity and everything that I'd built over 20 years of my prime, my 20s, my 30s, but I started to get tattoos that made me feel so free. I ordained as a Buddhist monk and shaved my head and eyebrows for a life experience. I fell in love with someone and had a baby from Thailand with a Thai woman. Then I fell in love with another Thai woman that actually was my executive assistant, or hired as my executive assistant, but happened to be 18 years younger than me. It's easy to judge. It's easy to judge. But I am so grateful for my courage to give myself permission to love myself enough to follow my truth. And that's what I want for everyone, because I got lost, but in my reflection and in my soul searching since the collision 6 years ago, I remembered who the fuck I am. I remembered why I do what I do. And I remember why I started. Because I remember growing up was tough. There was a lot of suffering. There was a lack of safety, lack of certainty. I went to like 8 different schools, moved around 8 different times. Oh, the rabbit's not happy now. I've put her in her cage, her bed. Moved around a lot, went to boarding school, then out of boarding school, then to another boarding school, then out of that boarding school. Then I told you, bullying throughout school, watching my younger brother get bullied, trying to stop him, but I didn't have it in me to try and stop him because I was a shy, scared, timid little boy. A father that was all over the place, aggressive, abusive, verbally, emotionally, physically as well. It was tough. It was really, really tough growing up. It wasn't the worst life. This is not a woe's me story. It was just, for me, it was tough. So at a very early age, I found out how to escape home. And that was work. I started working at the age of 10. I grew up in a place called Tableview. At the time, I was living in a place called Tableview in Cape Town, South Africa. And I started washing windows at a garage. What was it called? Caltex. And I don't know how it happened, but I just was like a cute little kid, and I had this little spongy thing, and I would stand there and, like, you know, take the windscreen wipers and just clean people's windows. 10 years old, I had my first job. Then, because I was so goddamn cute, and my brother came and did it with me, he was 8. Oh, I don't know how we got away with that. My mother was just fighting to survive. My father cheated on my mother with her best friend whilst we were living in the same house because we moved to Cape Town back from Namibia. And then she had to fend for us. She had no car. She would walk to work. She worked in a pub and had to deal with drunk men every day. Try to find love just to protect, just to find safety and protection for her kids. And witnessed her getting into fights with people and just trying to provide for us. We almost went to foster care. My mom used to go door to door selling chocolates. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. When I started making money, I was like, man, I can change my life. I can change my life. And by the age of 11, I was had a paper round. By the age of 12, I was pushing trolleys to cars outside shopping malls for tips. By the age of 13, I started working in a fruit and vegetable market, and I worked there throughout my childhood. Um, while other kids in my school, my mom tried to get us a better life. My mom ended up getting, do you still live in Cape Town? No, I live in Phuket, Thailand. My mom did her best to give us a better life, and then she ended up getting a relationship with a man that became my stepfather, and he wasn't a perfect man, but he was a good man. And he put us in a new area, but we're now in a new area, a better area, but we still had not enough money. A million lessons, absolutely, Jackie. A million lessons. I remember watching all your videos years ago. I didn't see you lost. I learned lots from you. Thank you, Jackie, so much. Yeah, I definitely wasn't lost in terms of like my actions and stuff. It was like I've always done my best to for the last 20 years inspire people, but I was doing it the way other people told me, oh, this is what you should do. This is, like I just wasn't doing it in the most authentic way. Anyway, I'll uncover all of that this year, Jackie. Trust me. One of my goals is to go live every day, even if it's for 10 minutes, and I'll do my very, very best. Anyway, so it was tough growing up. And then I found work. And I worked from the fruit and vegetable market 13 to 18. And while my friends were going on holiday, I remember school holidays, like all the cool kids, inshallah, exactly. All the cool kids would be like, oh, we're going here, we're going to PE, da da da. And I just remember being such an outsider, being like, that's never going to happen for me. Now, towards the end of my childhood, we'd go away like once a year for a weekend. Cousin! My cousin is here. He knows exactly what I fucking went through as a kid because he was right there with me. Mark, how cool that you came in right now. That's crazy. And I'm just sharing my childhood. My cousin lived a few kilometers from my house. He was my cycling buddy. He was my best friend. We did so much together. Love you too, cuz. Love you too. He was like my cousin wasn't my cousin. My cousin was my older, very fucking naughty brother. Oh my God. Do you remember building bombs, Mark? Anyway, that's a whole nother story. And I would wear my cousin's clothes because my cousin is taller than me, 6 months older than me. We would get food parcels from my cousin's house, from his mom. She would drop it at our house so we could eat. Sometimes we had cereal for dinner or like fish fingers on white bread. Like I said, this is not a woes me story. It's just, it was tough. But when I found out at 10 years old that I could work, I went to work. And that became my view of the world. Escape life by working. And pretty much all of my 20s and 30s, not that I was escaping, but it was the answer to everything is work, success. At the age of 23, I decided to get back into fitness. Long story, I'll go back to my childhood, but I would drift away from fitness. Within 3 years, I was award-winning personal trainer. I did a London Eye, Duracell commercial. I worked with Olympic athletes, Atomic Kittens, the girl band with A-list movie star. I did book launch. I was in magazines. I was a fitness model for W Athletic Agency in London. The list goes on. Because I'd learned from a young age, just go all in, go all in. And then I got into coaching, and I was charging 450 times the going rate for coaching within like 2 years. Then I got into speaking. Most people speak for free for years. Within like a year, I was already getting paid for speaking. Within 3 years of starting my speaking career, I was representing Tony Robbins, the #1 coach in the world. How did you build up your courage to change? Paul, great question. And I want to be going through that the entire year. My commitment this year is to help people develop courage, compassion for self, clarity, confidence, certainty, ultimately help people through their challenges. That's the direction that I'm going in. Life is tough. The world is tough. The world is changing. And I find it sad, terrible, shocking that we live in a world where we just crack on with our life, drinking, partying, learning new AI, scaling our businesses, gossiping, watching Netflix. We go on living our lives, and over 700,000 people. Think about how much that is, how many people that is, 700,000. Every single year, over 700,000, at least for the last 5 years, over 700,000 people take their life. On average, that is every 44 seconds. So I'm trying to look for the timer here. In the time that I've been with you, about 55, I can't do the exact maths, just in the time that I've been here with you, 55 people have killed themselves, unalived themselves. That's just crazy. Who are you talking to? Are you on 2 lives? I'm on my, I don't want to say the channels in case another channel picks up what I'm saying and kicks me off, but I am on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different platforms right now. So anyway, it was a tough life, and I just got into work. I got into work, and that became my world. The world needs more love. Ryan, so glad you're still here, bro. That's it. Like, I've done all the success shit. I've done all the looking cool shit. I've done, I've had the threesomes. I've done everything. I've traveled the world. I've hiked the Great Wall of China. I've jumped out of planes. I've written books. Like, now I just want to be in alignment with what I feel the world really needs. And that's compassion, which is love in action. Ryan says the world needs love. Like, we are stabbing each other, murdering each other. Emily, I'm back in Thailand. I'll be back in Dubai in a few weeks. We will be, Nat and myself. We are judging each other, hating on each other, religious hate, online abuse, suicide, mental health. I mean, like I said, you can't change the whole world in every area. I'm just going on suicide. Like, it's disgusting. It's disgusting that we live in a world where we complain. I hear people complain about shit that you don't even have the right to complain about. Someone I know, a friend of mine that worked in my business for a while, just died of cancer in his 40s, left his wife and young children behind. Is your life that bad? Sometimes people give themselves so much suffering, not because their life is bad, but because they don't know how to show themselves love. Like, just be kinder to yourself. You know why a lot of people take their life? Because they're too hard on themselves. They put too much pressure on themselves. They think they need to be someone else. They think they need to do more. They think that what they already are, do, have is not enough. And they constantly live in what I call the performance prison. And they're in their own prison where I must keep performing, must keep showing up, must keep proving myself. And it's fucking exhausting. But what they don't realize is the prison is in their mind. Suffering is created in the mind. This is why I went away and became a Buddhist monk, to understand this and be able to articulate things so clearly that all suffering is in the mind. And it's not of thoughts, it's of judgment of our thoughts. No thought on its own creates suffering. It's observing a thought and attaching a judgment to the observation. That's what causes all suffering. Palestine, Israel. Thinking about it doesn't cause suffering. It's what you choose to attach to the thought. Anyway, so I got into work mode. That became my life until I realized one day doing plant medicine, after having the accident, I realized that this is not the life for me. I know there's a different life for me. When the car hit me head on, left me for dead on the side of the road, and I woke up not in intensive care. I woke up in life. I woke up in my mind. Hey, James, I woke up in my heart. I woke up in my spirit to life is fragile, temporary, precious. What are you going to do about it? I went within myself. I couldn't run. I couldn't walk. I couldn't barely stand. I couldn't speak around the world. I couldn't coach. I couldn't travel. I couldn't cycle. So I just said, well, what can I do? If I can't do this, because I've had this collision, what can I do? I can go inward. So I went inward. I got into meditation. I went and lived in silence for 16 days, meditating 10 to 11 hours a day. I eventually got into plant medicine, psilocybin, ayahuasca, hape. And I did a ceremony where I had this message come to me. You don't need to do anything more. You're already proven. And it was a message from my father. And my father said, you've already exceeded what was expected from you. And I was like, hey, I can start slowing down now. I can start living in more joy, happiness, peace, fulfillment. I don't need to prove myself anymore. Anyway, so I used work as a way to get my way to quote unquote success. But to go back to my childhood, another big part of my childhood was fitness. To escape what was happening at home and at school, I found sport, or sport found me. My first ever sport was judo at the age of 7. And then I couldn't do that because after the first 3 classes, I couldn't afford the kit. I couldn't afford the gi. Then I tried karate. After the few classes, I couldn't afford to pay the tuition fees, or my mother couldn't. So I couldn't do that. Jackie, another book is coming. Trust me. It's about time. It's been 2 years since my last book, so another book is coming soon. I was just thinking about it the other day. It's going to be something about protecting your peace, because without peace, you're poor. So I found sport, but then I found rugby. And rugby, I had an old jersey. I didn't have all the new kids' jerseys. I had like this old different color. I bought it from a secondhand shop, or my mother did. And I played rugby. And I fell in love with rugby. And it didn't matter what was going on at home or at school. I always felt amazing playing rugby. And then at 13, when I moved to another place called Durbanville, I developed a knee disease called Osgood-Schlotter's disease. And I started to develop extraordinary, excruciating pain in my knees. And be careful what you are told in life and what you tell yourself, because verbal persuasion is one of the most powerful tools in the world. And I heard the specialist say, your son cannot play any impact sports because he has problems with his knees. He'll never be able to play rugby or do any kind of impact sports again. Oh my God, Catherine, listen to the message. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Listen to the message and judge the message. Don't judge the messenger. For everyone listening, Catherine Stringer comes and says, what have you done to your face? No need. Stop proving yourself because you're a great guy. I appreciate the comment, but no need? No need for what? To express myself authentically? To be who I really am? Do you know tattoos have been around for hundreds of years? Do you know that since the beginning of tribal existence, leaders in tribes have given themselves marking to go into battle, to go into sacred rituals, to do healing ceremonies? Because you don't understand my tattoos, don't try to sound good that, oh, you're already good enough as you are, and say there's no need for tattoos. There's no need for you to have tattoos. This is a part of human existence, creativity, self-expression, not having the courage to express who you really are, not having the confidence to show the real you to the world, not having the clarity of what you stand for, and having the compassion to give yourself permission to share it with the world. This is what causes suffering. So I understand that you have the best intention, but you don't need to understand my tattoos. My tattoos are my tattoos. You don't have to question it. You have to understand that everyone is on a different path. Everyone has different values. Everyone has a different vision. Everyone has a different mission. And therefore, everyone has a different purpose and a different way in which they choose to show up with different goals, different habits, and in a different identity. You don't need to understand. Do not judge. That is the problem with the world. I can look at anything in your life and say, no need. Oh, why do you do that? Why do you eat shit? No need. Why do you talk to yourself in that way? No need. But I would not do that because I don't know you and I don't understand you. Anyway, so back to sports. And by the way, I got the tattoo so I can have conversations like that. Just side notes, that's why I got these tattoos. So I could invite conversations like that, so I could speak to the world about judgment and how people need to be more compassionate and more understanding. So thank you for speaking up. So I got into sport, and sport helped me feel alive. And then I got this knee disease, and the doctor said you could never run again. So I took up cycling. And cycling became my life from 13 until I was like 19 years old. It was like everything to me. I cycled with my cousin. I cycled with my friends. I cycled after school. I did cycling races. I had a team. I became semi-professional. All the gear, no idea. No, I'm kidding. All the gear, but not paid. Sawadi Pimai. Sawadi Cup. William, good to see you. And I used sport as a way to get through my childhood, but I also loved it very, 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 very much. But when I was 19 years old, I found another passion: music. You see, I had loved music my entire life. It had been a pattern all of my life up until that point. I remember my father bought my first cassette deck, whatever it's called. You know, like the old thing where you put the two cassettes in. And I remember he bought me for my birthday or Christmas this black thing where you put two cassettes in, a cassette player. I don't know what it's called. And I remember my first ever cassette that he bought me. It was Monster Hits Volume 2. And I remember I used to take that cassette and I would put play, stop, play, stop, play, stop, play, stop on every track, write down the lyrics, and I would rehearse it over and over again. I just loved music all of my life from as young as I can remember. So growing up, I got to 18. I started going to clubbing. I started to experience music, and I saw a DJ, and I thought, that's what I want to do. I want a DJ. Look what he's doing. I knew from when I was cycling and I was going to watch other professional cyclists, I'd be like, man, look what they're doing. They're doing what they love, the professional cyclists, and they're inspiring people. And I thought, that's what I want to do with my life. I want to do what I love, and I want to inspire people. Like I'd watch the cycling race called the Borland Tour or the Giro del Capo, and I'd watch the pros coming from all around the world. I'd be like, wow, that's so inspiring. I'm so inspired. And I thought, that's what I want to do. I want to do what I love. I want to be really good at it. I want to inspire others. And I thought, looked at this DJ, and I was like, that's what I want to do. Now, fast forward. I gave up cycling. I became a DJ. I decided that if I was going to be a superstar, I needed to go to London. Got to London. Got scammed on my visa. Ended up in a chicken factory. Then a dog and cat food factory. Then a hotel outside London. Then eventually into London. William, Happy New Year. And then eventually became a DJ. And by the age of 23, I was a full-time DJ. And New Year's Eve, I was DJing in Riga, Latvia, in Europe. And I'm telling you the short version now because this is really going on. Yo, what's up, Jason? Good to see you, brother. Congratulations on all your success in 2025, and I hope it continues in 2026. Maybe we'll see each other at some point. And I remember Riga, Latvia, 2,500 people, Club Nautilus, private drive. I remember my childhood, right? I came from a place that I watched people around me die from heroin overdoses. I went to a party when I was a young boy, and there were being guns cocked at the party. At my matric or high school graduation, I watched a kid get stabbed and bleed to death in front of me. My mom walked to work. I mean, I told you the story already. Just tough. We did our best to survive. We did our best to survive. And now I'm being picked up at the airport, flown to Riga, Latvia, 23, driver waiting for me, driven to the Radisson Hotel on the Radisson River, and then taken to the club at 11 p.m. Through the club, met by the owner, through the club to a VIP area to play New Year's. I was a rock star. But you see, growing up and having nothing in my mind, not having what other people had, not having confidence, not having girls like me, not having money, not having acceptance, not having people want to be friends with me, not having success in cycling, not having. My model for success became having. If you have, you're successful. And now look at life, right? How many people have everything and they jump off buildings? So now I'm 23 years old. I have attention from guys, attention from girls. I'm being offered cocaine. I'm being kissed on, girls are coming to kiss me. I've got money. I'm earning a few $100, dollars a night to just play some music for 2 or 3 hours. And I'm 23. And I'll never forget the next morning after doing things I really should not have done, and being drunk, high. I couldn't even stand. I couldn't walk. I couldn't talk. I was beyond, what's that saying? FUBAR. Effed up beyond all recognition. And I chased my dream, what I thought was a dream, because now I have everyone's attention on me. And the next morning, 23 years old, I knew that having got to the UK on my own, I had no one to blame for where I was. And I thought, if I keep doing these same decisions, decision by decision by decision. Madonna, thank you so much. My teeth are real. Bottom ones are terrible, but they're all natural. Thank you. I knew if I made the decision, but decision by decision, that I was heading in the wrong direction. And at 23 years old, it reminded me of exactly 10 years prior to that, when at 13 years old, my father, decision by decision, had got his life wrong to the point that he took his own life. But my father was in so much pain that actually this was the 8th time that he tried to take his life. He tried 7 times before. And it wasn't that my father was a bad person, or that he was stupid, or that he was not good enough. He grew up in a life that caused him a lot of pain and suffering, and he didn't know how to deal with it. He didn't know the way out of suffering. See, in Buddhism, it teaches the fact that suffering exists, that we create suffering, that we can remove our own suffering, and there's a way to remove suffering. But my father didn't understand that. And he didn't know how to deal with his suffering. And a lot of his suffering came from his mind. One of my father's friends told me that, or someone in my family said that your father was a genius, but he didn't know how to deal with his own mind, and his mind made him crazy. On top of that, his own mother left him in an orphanage when he was 4 years old, his real mother. From 4 years old, when you are I'm a father to a 2.5-year-old, the greatest gift of my life. But all kids, when you come into this world, you have no rules for life. Between the ages of like 4 and 7, some people say 4 and 7 or 2 and 5. But at 4 or 5 years old, my father was creating his rules for life. And he created a rule that I'm not worthy because my own mother left me. And unfortunately, he never recovered from that. And when I was 13, my father unalived himself. And now I'm 23 years old, and I'm realizing, because of my upbringing, I'm heading in the same direction. And I was like, if I don't change something, I'm in trouble. So I went back to the UK, London, where I was living. I spoke to a friend of mine. I said, man, I need help. I don't know what depressed is. I've been creating my own life since I was 10 years old. I started working at the age of 10. I've never stopped. but I'm pretty low. I thought I wanted to be a DJ, and it's destroyed me. It's destroyed me physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I know some people can DJ on herbal tea, but that was not me. I went all in. And it fucking destroyed me. Um, and long story made very short, he was a coach. I had no idea what a coach was. And he said, do these few things: change your environment. What else do you love? It was fitness. He said, change your habits, change your thoughts. This told me about the law of attraction. And I was like, I've got nothing to lose. Like, I can't keep living that life. I can't keep feeling the way I was feeling. And I started to change my life, got into fitness, changed my habits, changed my friends, changed my social circles. Sleepy Linda, good morning from California. Miss you guys. Good to see you, Sleepy Linda. And I started to change my life one day at a time. Let me be very clear. It wasn't because I wanted to be a coach or a mentor, or a speaker or entrepreneur or successful or make money. I just wanted to save myself. I knew I was in trouble. I was a very young man, 23 years old. I became very confident very quickly because of the success I had in DJing and just in being a socialite in central London. I was with one girl and then her best friend. Sorry, I need to do a security check here on my phone. I was having threesomes in the W Hotel in London. I was sleeping with a girl and then taking her home and then coming back, sleeping with her friend. I was just not a good person. But, I was taking loads of drugs. Like I said, I grew up with not having. So I thought the more I can get, me, the more successful I'll be. And this is a trauma dump. Maybe therapy, not TikTok. I'm here to help people through their challenges. If you don't like what I have to say, move on. Listen to the message. Judge the message, not the messenger. Understand why you are here. Why did you choose to come here? And comment that. Understand that. And understand why I am here. So, anyway. And I realized that, man, I started to change my life dramatically. I became super confident in a healthy way. I became super certain in a very clear way. I knew who I wanted to be. I got into a relationship with someone that was, as my friends would say, what's that saying in England? Punching above your weight. I was punching way above my weight. And I just started to change these things to save my life, and my life completely transformed. And no, don't worry, I'm not leading up to selling you some course, okay? Let me just be very clear on that. And I just thought by the age of about 25, I was confident, clear, certain, healthy, fit. I was doing Thai boxing. And I just thought, man, I got a job in the gym as a salesperson. My confidence and my energy made me top performing salesperson in London, a gym called Gymbox. And they offered me their next gym. And I was like, nah. They were like, oh, you'll be on $35,000, let's say $40,000 a year, 25 years old, came from Cape Town, South Africa. And I was like, that doesn't excite me, I'm so confident now. Like, I feel like I can do anything. And like, you offering me your next flagship store, which became one of their biggest branches still to this date. I was like, that doesn't excite me at all, but thank you so much for the offer. And I thought, man, if I can go from where I was to where I am now, oh man, imagine if I could have given this to my father. Imagine I could have taught my father about the law of attraction, about verbal persuasion, about vicarious experiences, about high performance living, about goal setting, about purpose, passion, doing what you love, about values, vision, goals, about having daily non-negotiables, sacred rituals in your life that keep you in alignment and in high vibration. And the list goes on and on and on. Imagine I could talk about meditation, gratitude, etc. I was like, I can't take my father back. But 100% I know that I could have turned in that individual that was deeply traumatized, and he was a genius. I could have turned him into a very successful, fulfilled man, living at peace. Matt, good to see you, brother. Nice to talk to you earlier. And I just thought, I can't change my father's life, but imagine if I can help other people. Imagine if I can dedicate my life to understanding human behavior and human potential. And I can keep studying this, and I can make this my obsession. Understanding how we can get out of suffering, how we can get out of surviving, and how we can thrive in life and be happy, peaceful, joyful, fulfilled, and successful. And I just said, 25 years old, I said, that's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And the vehicle has changed. I did fitness. I did, uh, what do you call it? Fitness classes, helping people that way, then personal training, then life coaching, then performance coaching, then speaking on stages, then running my own events. James, some people just don't understand. Absolutely. And when they don't understand, they like to judge. That's just the way the world is. But how you remove judgment is you help people understand by raising their awareness. I started speaking, then running my own events. Then I started writing books. Then I wrote a few bestsellers. And I just started creating. But circling around to what I said before, I became lost. I became lost in my own success. I became lost in my own stories. I became lost in my own testimonials. I became lost in the praise that I would get going out to launch events and rooftop bars in London. I would get lost in the parties. I would get lost in the thanks from people saying, "Oh, you've helped me change my life." I would get lost in the sales teams that I was working in, saying, "Man, our performance has gone up because we're highly motivated by your talks and your support." I got lost in all of that. It was a great place to be. It was an inspiring place to be, but I forgot why the fuck I started. I forgot where I started. I started because my father took his life. And I wanted to go back to that. I wanted to go back to why I started. And it was because I believed that there was too much suffering in the world and that the world needs more compassion. So that's been my journey since the accident or collision 6 years ago in undoing the person that I was becoming and continuing to grow into and step into the most authentic version of me and live in alignment with what I really want to share with the world. Oh my God, this person. I've got literally, I've been live for like 2 hours and I've got just one person now showing up and just like the most keyboard gangster posts. If one more comes, and if you want to observe, stay. If you want to leave, leave. But if you abuse or talk shit to any of other people watching or to me, I'm deleting you. Anyway, so now we are at 2026. 2025 was a massive year of transformation for me. Asked my best friend to marry me, spoke on some big stages in Dubai, settled even more into Thailand. James, tell them to go live with you. Yeah, come on, let's go live. Actually, no, there is. If I was only on that platform, TT, I could do that. But I'm on multiple channels. I want to be respectful of everyone's time and also people that are going to be watching this and recording. No, so 25 was a massive year of transformation for me. I told myself I wasn't going to be labeled a performance coach anymore. I changed my business. I focus more on building a community, which is my number one goal and focus now. I already have a community called Spiritual Gym. And in there, we have different levels of people that, whether they want accountability or not, but I just have a community. As a person that's been through life as a human being and been through all of life, I'm now able to hold space for people that just want to go deeper within themselves and be in a community that has trust, where they can be vulnerable, authentic, and this community is to help them get through their challenges, live in more alignment with their truth, their values, work on whatever's been holding them back, blocking them from living more honestly with themselves, more in integrity. And it's really, really been a blessing. But I've had to undo all of the old version of me. And that's been hard work, guys. Hard work. Because the ego kicks in and goes, "Oh, you look very good then. Those people liked you when you were that guy. Those people paid you 20,000 or 10,000. Up until last year, I was charging $10,000 for 3 months. Those people liked you when you were, it looked good. It felt good when you were getting that. But I was a performance coach. And for a long time, I was very good at it. If you know the model Ikigai, that your Ikigai is your reason for being. And it's a balance, an intersection between what the world needs, what you're good at, what you love, and what you can get paid for. But for years, it was slanted. It was not balanced. It was focused on what I can get paid for and what I'm good at. And I became disconnected to what the world needs and what I'm passionate about. And that was leading compassion, being a leader for compassion, and being specifically speaking about self-compassion. Because even people that go online and abuse others, they're just hurt. I mean, I've been studying this for 20 years, psychology, sports psychology, human psychology, what's I say, sports psychology, performance psychology, neurolinguistic programming. Like, it's just not rocket science to me. It's the most simple, simplest level of understanding that hurt people. It's just like no happy person tries to hurt another person. So every time I see someone hurting another person, that's like, oh, that's more work for me to do, or more work for them to do. I can't help everyone. I can't change everyone. I can't impact everyone. I'm not for everyone. How did you? Okay. My daughter's rabbit is getting very intelligent now, and it's just oi. She's just opened her own cage. Okay. I might have to call this stream to an end. I don't know how long I've been live, but I think it's about 2 hours. So here's my goal for 2026. I made a lot of changes in 2025. I mentor as opposed to coach. Why mentor over coaching? Because I'm passionate about helping people thrive, helping people identify what matters to them, helping people identify a clear inspirational vision for their life, helping people find what's meaningful to them and live in a mission or a vehicle or a job or a profession that actually fucking means something to you. And most importantly, when people are going through hardship, challenges, struggles in life, I want to be there for people that need support. That's the number one goal for me. But coaching implies that you're going to get knowledge or competence. You can get that from ChatGPT. Coaching implies programs. Matt, good to see you, bro. Sorry, good that you're still here. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you so much. Great to hear you speak again. The best of the best. Thank you, brother. That means a lot. It really means a lot coming from you. Coaching, it implies, or people in their head, when you say coach, you think program, course, workshop, masterclass. And once again, I got lost in all of those things, but it's not why I started. I just ended up there. And sometimes in life, you end up in a successful place at the end of a highway that's at a destination that you didn't necessarily even want to get to. I just wanted to help people. I didn't want people to experience what I experienced as a kid. No kid should feel the way I felt growing up. I want to help parents make sure that they don't pass on their pain to their children. My mother just worked to survive. That was her only goal, to work to survive, to work a job that she hated, to get to the end of her day, to cook for hours in a house that she wasn't even happy in, but to numb it all out with alcohol. No mother should live like that. My stepfather wasn't happy because he worked too much and was always stressed and just couldn't get out of his own performance prison. He just couldn't get out of it. So he just stayed year after year after year after year and got sick and unwell, became an alcoholic. No man should have to live like that. And no kid deserves to have a father living like that. And then, of course, my real father had so much suffering that he couldn't cope. And he thought the easiest thing for himself to be able to get through life was to take his life and to end it. That shouldn't be a reality. And although I'm not delusional enough to think I can change the world. I definitely want to do what I can to change what I can and who I can. As an athlete, uh, and what has an athlete got to do with it? An athlete, it's not about the thing, it's the thing about the thing. I want to fight in sport, in competition, in martial arts, whatever my body allows me to do for the rest of my life. I want to fight for people that are fighting for their lives, fighting to survive. I might be fighting in the ring, for example, but people are fighting in life. As a speaker, I want to speak my truth and always speak to compassion and help people come home to themselves by practicing self-compassion, which is not soft, it's not weak, it's strength, it's power. Compassion is one of the greatest strengths in the world, because when you have compassion in a certain area, what is compassion? Compassion is empathy in action. Empathy is feeling sorry for. You can feel sorry for others and do fuck all about it. You can feel sorry for yourself all day long because life is unfair, blah, blah, blah. But without compassion, nothing changes. Compassion is doing something about it. Loving yourself enough, or loving others enough, or loving your job enough, or business enough, or the world enough to do something about the pain that you don't want to see or experience or feel. Bunny. Oh my gosh. I don't know why she's going crazy. So that's my goal this year. So how do I want to do that? There's too much AI in the world, and I don't feel inspired to, although I do it every now and again. Like, once again, I thought I had to be the guy that cuts up videos and everything looks professional, etc. This is me. It's taken me a long time to get here, guys. A long fucking time. But this is me right here. Real, raw, vulnerable, authentic, swearing, making mistakes, forgetting my words. And I just want to be this person. The greatest freedom in the world is to be yourself. And I just don't want to perform anymore. I don't want to perform. I don't want to. I don't need to. I don't want to. I don't need to. I have no want to be perceived how I need to be perceived to be successful. I've already made it. So no job, basically, sir. No offense. Are you asking if I have a job? I have a business. I get paid to speak around the world. My last speaking gig, I got paid $6,500 to speak for an hour. So yes, I have a job. I mentor people privately. My clients that are successful, but they've got to the place that they thought that would make them happy, and it's cost them their peace. It's cost them their happiness. It's cost them their health. It's cost them their relationships. And they're like, how the hell do I achieve everything that I've achieved, but I feel so empty? I help those people take their peace back. I help them people go from outward success to inward success, from fear-based living to love-based performance and love-driven success. So I do private mentoring, and I charge $4,000 for 3 months, $7,000 for 6 months, $12,000 for 12 months. So yes, I have a job. I also have books on Amazon that I get royalties for. So yes, I have a job. And I have an online community where people pay $9 a month, $49 a month, or $99 a month. Not a program, not a course, not a workshop, a community, a place that they can get access to me and like-minded people to help them get through life and achieve their goals. That's it. So yes, I have a job, but thank you for asking. I don't have a job, actually. I had a job once when I was trying to make it in London. I worked behind a desk for 3 months. I fucking hated it. Jackie, I appreciate you. I hated it. And I looked at everyone sitting at the desk and I was like, how is this life? They come in on a Monday, they complain. On Wednesday, they start getting a little bit of energy. And on Friday, they're so excited to leave the thing that is the thing that they spend their 80% of their life on. And in 3 months, I observed these people that were so unhappy and they just did it to get paid. And they pushed themselves through the stress and they ate shit at their desk. And they would have sugar and coffee in the afternoon just to survive. Like, what kind of an inspirational goal is that? To survive the day. Fuck me. and they offered me a full-time job. And they were like, "Oh, we love your energy and your attitude and your work ethic." And I didn't say these words, but I said, "Not a fuck." Like, and I remember 10th floor, Holborn Circus, central London. I walked out of the 10th floor to the elevators, through the glass doors, 2 lifts on each side. And I remember pushing the elevator button. And I remember I smiled and I said, "I will never work." I don't know what I was going to do with my life, but I said, "I will never work a day in an office ever in my life." It's for other people. It just wasn't for me. How many hours of sleep do you usually get? It's late in Thailand. It's way past my bedtime, actually, James. But I sleep probably 7 hours on average. Sometimes 6, sometimes 8. Usually 7, 7.5. But I really wanted to do this live stream. I wanted to be a person. Being a person of your word is everything. I want to start my year being a person of my word. And my intention is to go live as often as possible and just connect with people. And I know I'm going to turn a lot of people off, and there are people going to be like, "What? This is so unpolished, unprofessional. He's umming and ahhing and this." But, oh man, I've had to just say, those are not the people that I'm trying to help. The people I'm trying to help are people that know they can just be better in life. They can do better. They can have a better experience of life. They're struggling, they're suffering, they're successful on the outside, but they're miserable on the inside. And I don't need to be that performer. I've got all the accolades, the achievements, the results. You can Google my name. One person, even before working with me last year, and they didn't know me at all, and they paid me 17,500 at the time last year, right? I was charging 17,500. And I said, "How did you find out about me?" And they said, "I chat GPT'd you." I chat GPT'd you, and it told me everything about your story, everything. James, I think a lot of people want something real. Absolutely. And I think now more than ever, now in a world where there's AI everywhere, I hate it. I leverage AI. I'm not resistant to it. I leverage AI. I use it every single day of my life, every single day, in making decisions in our relationship, about our kids' school, business, every day. It's probably not a day that I don't use it. But I want real, and that's why I decided to move away from programs, courses, workshops, all that stuff. And I just decided, you know what? What's one thing AI can't replace? Connection, community, love, unity. Connection, community, love, and unity. And I thought that's what I want to create. I want to create a place where there's connection, community, love, and unity. And I can just be a mentor, a guide. So not a coach, but still sharing all of my expertise, all of my knowledge, all of my experiences, everything that I've achieved and what I've learned from those achievements, everything that I've failed in and what I've learned from those failures. But I'm a mentor. If someone asks me for a program or a course, I'm like, nah, you don't need to work with me. I don't need you. You don't need me. Go find someone else. I can recommend some really great coaches. If you want someone in your corner that's got great experience of life, that's going to tell you the truth and hold you accountable, it's no more complicated than that. I'll have you back. So now 2026, it's YouTube live, social media live, real, raw. I want to connect with as many people as possible. I started a new YouTube channel where it's live. It's going to be live primarily. I have a business partner, Sam Hopkins, that unless I'm training, speaking, or teaching or mentoring, Sam does everything else. So I've removed all distraction to be able to achieve my vision this year, which is to turn fear into love and to make compassion contagious. What else? Oh, so I've got a free Facebook group. I teach spiritual fitness. What is spiritual fitness? It's resilience. I take all of my life experience and I show people how to be more resilient to deal with life, to deal with its challenges, to deal with your wins, your losses, to deal with pressure. When you're under pressure, when you're stressed, when you're at the top of your game and you feel like you're going to lose it all because you can't handle it. Just how to overcome challenges, like the title of this live stream. And I have a free Facebook group. It's called Spiritual Fitness. I also then have a community, which is a place for people to have access to some of my videos, some of my keynotes that I've done around the world and been paid for, some of the courses that I used to sell. It's all in there for free. And that's $9 a month. And then I have a personal development call with my group every Saturday. That's $49 a month. And then I have a mentoring group on habits, mindset, accountability, goals every Friday. And that's $99 a month. But I'm not here to talk about that. I wouldn't be doing you a service by speaking to you for so many hours or such a long time and then not giving you a place to go after that in case you're interested. So, if not in this video, at some point you'll get links to that. But I'm just here because 700,000 people killing themselves just shouldn't exist. And I just know enough. I know enough that maybe I can't help 100,000. Maybe I can't help 10,000. Maybe I can't help 1,000. But if I can help 10 people not end their life, and as a result of that, the people in their life change all of their lives, because my father taking his life affected everyone. It doesn't just affect your life when you take your life, it affects everyone's life. If I can just do that, and I can be or have a fair value exchange to be able to take care of my family so I can keep doing that, for me, that is success. And to be able to keep my peace, to keep my freedom, to live joyfully with my family, to travel freely without concern or worry or stress or fear. Yeah, that's it. I've said enough for today. Now I'm switching into the mode of like, oh, I should have a close, but I don't want to do that anymore. So this is going to be like just an online share, a diary, sharing my life experiences. If I get back into martial arts, because I have injury after injury, I'll share that journey. Writing my next book on peace, I'll share that journey. Sharing the evolution of JP de Villiers, Jean-Pierre de Villiers, and who I'm becoming, I'll share that journey. I will ask you questions. I will answer any questions that you have. Hey, Paulina. And I'm just really, I said this to my partner, Nat, the other day, and to a few other people. I am just so excited for this year. I really am. I really, really am so excited. And that's why all day yesterday, I didn't go out on New Year's Eve. I have a weird partner. She's 26. And we both like last year, New Year's by 9 p.m. we were like, oh, we just want to go to bed. She's so sabai, as in we say in Thailand, like so chilled, so relaxed. And we have, we had an early night. I woke up on the 1st and all I did was just work on who I want to be this year. My values, my vision, my mission, my purpose. With my communities, I shared the same message. Know what you stand for, know what you don't want to stand for, what you want to do more of, less of, stop doing this year. And I just spent all of the January the 1st just in this, and clarity, turning clarity into conviction. And then started today with conviction. Went to the gym, had to go to hospital because I've had a procedure on my leg. Spent time with my family, coached my, Freudian slip after 20 years of coaching. I should have said mentored my clients, mentored my VIP membership. I told you I see them every Friday. Saw a private client in France before that. And then said to Nat, you know what? I really want to close today with my first live stream, multi-channel live stream. So it's going to be interesting to see how this journey goes, because YouTube, you've got to speak a certain way. LinkedIn, you've got to speak a certain way. Same for TikTok, Instagram. But that's the exact thing that I want to avoid. And I'm just trusting myself. I'm trusting my intuition for years and years and years and years. The problem with being obsessed about learning is you take everyone's advice. And I lost myself in that. Even people with the best intentions, I would take all of this advice and implement it. And I ended up going on my own journey of suffering more and more and more, and being like, why does this feel this way? My whole life, all I've wanted to do is just help people overcome their challenges and live their best life. Like, it's not complicated. It shouldn't be complicated, but I've made it complicated. Anyway, that's it. Good night. It's the 2nd of January. I wish you a year of real success, true success. Not what you have on the outside. Trust me, I've had a lot on the outside. My clients have had everything on the outside. Some of them, everything. Trust me, that is not the answer. If you're wishing for more, I went through everything in my life in my own personal life. My father chasing success, never being happy and peaceful and fulfilled. Seeing my clients over the years that have just been miserable because they have everything and they feel nothing. I'm telling you, you don't have to go on that same journey. Maybe it's, you're older in life, but if you're younger, like, don't go down that journey. That is not the path. The path to real success. Success is a feeling. You don't do success. You don't have success. You don't look success. You feel successful. That's what makes you feel successful. You go to bed and you feel accomplished. You feel excited for the next day. You feel grateful. Abdullah, thank you so much. Have a blessed 2026. And you wake up in the morning and you wake up with gratitude. You go sit outside and you think, wow, regardless of how your life is going, wow, I'm alive. I'm alive. I get to do this all again. And you feel enthusiastic about what you have in front of you for that day, the only guaranteed life that you have, that day ahead of you. You feel excited about it. You can't wait to start the day. And you have practices in your day that make you keep feeling good. That's success. How do you become more successful? Do what makes you feel good. How do you remove failure? Move away from things that make you feel bad. Any guilt, shame, regret, any bad feelings, low vibration, low emotions, remove all of that stuff from your life. But success is a feeling. Anything that makes you feel good is aligning you to your own personal success. And there's a pathway to that. And I call it spiritual fitness. And it's understand your values. All my clients do this work. My community, Spiritual Gym VIP, or my private clients, they all have to understand this. So here's the snapshot. You need to know your values, what you stand for, what you don't. This allows you to make better decisions for you, and to be able to say no to the things that are, and to the people that are not for you. When you have more clarity, you can make better decisions. When you make better decisions, you make better outcomes, or you have better outcomes. And when you have better outcomes, it's not rocket science, you have a better life. That's number one. Number two, you have to have a vision that inspires you. Whether you're going through the shit or whether you're already successful, but you feel unfulfilled and lost, what is your vision? Regardless of where you are in life, by having a clear, compelling, and inspirational vision, it drives you, motivates you, and inspires you to stay in action. And when you move towards a vision, you feel alive. Inspired, inspire, breathe in. When you are inspired, you are living in spirit. And when you're living in spirit, you are truly alive. A man, I think it's the Bible that says this, a man, or in this case, in today's way of saying it, a man or a woman without a vision perishes. When you don't have a vision for your life, for your family, for what you want to create in this world, you die spiritually. And when you are dying spiritually inside, nothing on the outside will make you feel good. Then you need a mission. What is the vehicle, the job, the career that you've chosen for your life that is meaningful to you? If it doesn't mean something to you, if the mission or the vehicle that you've chosen for your life, in my case, it's athlete, speaker, mentor, if what you've chosen to do in your life doesn't make you feel, you're going to have suffering, because then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Maybe pride, maybe validation, maybe acceptance, or most cases, you're doing it for money. And the reason why you're doing it for money is because you're not living in love. You're driven by fear of not having. And then after that, you need a purpose. Why do you do what you do? And this is important to know, because when life hits you and life knocks you to the canvas, you need a reason to get up. And my reason to get up over and over and over and over again has been because people in the world are suffering and they need me. That's mine. It's not evangelical. It's not, I'm not trying to sound godly. That's just the vision. That's the why that I've chosen for myself. I know how to end suffering, and there's a lot of suffering. And for that reason, I cannot give up. I have to be here for people that need me and that need what I know can help them. But recently, my why has changed dramatically because I became a father. When I was in my early 20s, I knew I wanted to be a father. It's one thing that I've always wanted, is to be a father, not just to a child, but to take care of a family and to be the kind of father that I never had. Present, powerful, and playful. Present, powerful, and playful. To be happy, joyful, fulfilled, at peace, inspirational, motivational, stoic. And I visualized that throughout my life. In my early 20s, I visualized a girl holding my hand, holding my finger like this. And finally, 2 years ago, that came true. So 20 years it took to make that happen. But she became part of my why. And now my partner has her own son, and just my family in general. Oi, Bunny. Oi. Bunny, stop. Sorry, I need to go attend to my daughter's rabbit. Okay. Never wrong. Someone's just said, I'm not listening to anybody with face tattoos. Thank you. Then leave. Don't. I mean, the common sense action there is to leave. So thank you. Thank you for that statement and for enlightening all of us here on the 2nd of January, 2026. Oh my goodness, some people. So my why is my daughter and my family. And I'm so motivated, so driven. And that's why I just couldn't, uncomfortably, I had to move away from the person that I was, because I don't want my daughter to see my father as, oh yeah, my father was motivated by success and money. Because everyone I worked with, most of the people I worked with, that was who they were before they came to me, and realized that actually happiness was more important. And it's finding that balance between success, happiness, performance, joy, fulfillment. It's that perfect balance. But to find that perfect individual balance for you, you need to know who the fuck you are. And for you to know who you are, no one can tell you what a balanced life is for you. No one can tell you what a happy, fulfilled, peaceful life is for you. You need to figure that out by figuring out the 4 foundational pillars of your life and your identity, which is values, vision, mission, purpose. You can do that alone, or if you want, like I said, I have a community. At some point, I will share links. Throughout this year, I have one goal this year. Be myself, go live, be real, raw, vulnerable, however I show up throughout this year. That's number 1. Number 2, have a community that I can invite people into so that they can do the same. Give themselves permission to be themselves, practice self-compassion, and then lead with compassion, because that's how we change the world, by changing ourselves. Simplified my entire life to this message. Small is beautiful, simple is best, less is more. Small is beautiful, simple is best, less is more. That's my approach for 2026. Peace and love. Love and appreciate you all. Probably I will be live again tomorrow. Take care. Have a great start to the new year.